Well, my background and my experience really stems from many, many years in the advertising industry, publishing, and in automotive. Back in Miami, many years ago, I started off in the gray market car industry, and we dealt with all exotic automobiles: Ferrari, Porsche, Mercedes, BMW, and what have you. And that stemmed off into a long film career because of the type of cars that we were dealing with. Being in film, of course, introduced me into, imaging and business development in general, and how imaging works for people in business. And I learned a lot from the film people and how to make that into a recognizable and successful career. So that's pretty much what I did. Well, I started off in transportation, actually. I worked for the first 2 seasons on the TV show Miami Vice, and I provided all the cars that you actually saw in the show. And also provided the personal transportation for the cast and crew, and I became a transportation coordinator, and as time went on, I worked in production and became a production manager ultimately. Well, internet sales and how it incorporates into the automotive industry is really in its infancy stages. We all know that the internet's been around for, about 15, 20 years, but in real application, only just a few. And a lot of dealerships, from what I've seen and from my experiences, show me that a lot of work needs to be done in this area, and how people can cultivate and make that a very powerful tool for their sales force. We would sell, our amount of units that we would do per month really range from 50 to 70 units per month through the internet department. About $2,000 per copy we would gross per car. The process was a phone call followed up by email, and it was an immediate thing. The minute we got the lead, a phone call would be placed, and an email would be shot out for a follow-up, and so on and so forth, until we hit pay dirt. It was a relentless approach. To maintain gross profit from internet customers, the ideal way to do it is not say much to the customer at all. You really need to sell the car, but never sell what you're going to sell it for. That's a fatal error. You want to get them into the dealership. That's where you make your gross. To give prices over the internet is a fatal flaw that I see a lot of people engaging in. We never do it. If you want to keep your grosses to the bare bones, give prices on the phone. That's something you just don't want to do. It's immediate. Our response time is immediate, always is. The minute we get a lead, it's boom, you're on the phone, you're following up with an email, and that cycle never stops. That's how you get people. We look at, really, every single one of our leads is a phone call. We treat it as such. I think the hardest part about getting people into the dealership and the internet sales in general, you're dealing with a market out there that's becoming much more internet savvy. You have tons of competition out there. You have a lot of dealerships who have, of course, internet departments. When I first started, it was still in its infancy stage. It still is, but it was even more so then. Nobody really knew what they were doing, so when people called you on the internet, it was like, oh boy, this is great. Now they're much more savvy, and you have more and more people on the internet that really don't know how to use it. So they're beating these customers up. They get on the phone with you, there's an attitude. These are all obstacles and challenges that you have to overcome by being consistent. It's having a good approach, a positive approach, immediacy, and being honest with these people. You got to really tell them, you got to sell them on the product and why you are the best choice. And that takes training, and that takes a lot of effort, but it can be done. We don't dead a deal really until we cycle it 7 to 15 times. Let's say 12 is about the average. All of our tracking is done through web control. It's a very, very smart bunch of software that it's great for CRM, it's great for tracking, it's great for everything. And that's what we use. Well, Dealerskins, of course, developed our website, and they're probably the best at it in the world that I know of. I just think the way it's put together is so smart. It's so easy to use. It's so the interfaces are very friendly, and the support staff is outstanding. I think the key to success in any venture that one takes on in life, and certainly how it applied to me, is just keeping focused. keeping things down and on the basics and the fundamentals. Never lose sight of your fundamentals. You wake up early, you work hard, you understand fully what you do, and you remain consistent in that approach. And to be successful in this business, using the internet as a tool, it's called consistency. You've got to maintain the same format every single day. If you keep to the program, you're going to sell a lot of cars. My advice to prospective and current internet sales managers is to get involved in training right off the bat. Hire people who, A, know how to speak on the phone, B, have very good writing skills. You know, a lot of this stuff is done on email. You want people that really know how to formulate a sentence. We can train, you know, there's training available for that as well. But you want to get everybody on board with that kind of process. That's essential. Let them understand the product that you're selling. Make sure they drive these cars, they're involved in these cars, that they really know what they're talking about. If somebody wants a Cadillac Escalade, for example, you want somebody that's driven one to be able to inform a customer on what kind of stuff you have in stock and why it's a good move for them and why your dealership is the place to buy it. So it all comes down to training and confidence in your people. And you just have to be smart about who you hire and how you train them. I just really want to reach out to people who have a vested interest in this industry, that you can make a real lot of money and you can be extraordinarily successful if you keep to your basics. The internet is really all about basics. It's like publishing a magazine. If you can't publish a magazine in a roughshod way, there are fundamentals involved in putting it together. The internet is no different. You keep to the basics, you hire good people around you, you work for a company that believes in what you're doing, then you're going to win. You're going to come out way ahead of the game, and you're going to have a very fruitful and successful life.